lesson, we will do another example. View customer and supplier based on orders for those who placed the order in 1997, sorted in ascending order by order number and title. What we need to do here, we want that to get from the customers and the suppliers based on orders for those who placed the order in 1997. So we want the customers. To get the customers, we need to use customers table. Now we want the based on orders. So we need the orders of these customers. So we'll get the orders, this is the O, order ID, from the customers, the customer name, from the O, the order name, and we know it's a customer that ordered it. So in this way, we know the orders and the customer that ordered it. Only from the orders that made in 1997. What we want from the employees table, we want the suppliers, the employees that made an order, their first name and last name. So first name and last name, if we unite it with the company name, so the company name will be the name of the employee name. Then the order day of the employee, the supplier, and the, let's call it employees as a title. Also in year 1997. So what we get the order ID of the customers. This is the order of the customer and the employees. So we know that this customer had an order that is 10400, and the supplier, the employee that handled with this order was Nancy the volume, also 1.10400. So he is the supplier, the employee that deal with this order ID, and is the customer that received the service from this supplier, the employee, on the same order ID. Let's do it in the SQL server. So here we have the query. Let's build it together so we understand it. First of all, we have select asterisk from the customers table. What we want from here is the company name. So let's call it C, and here C as company name. And we want to call it customer. And let's call it as title. What we also want from here, we want the order of this customer. So we need to do join with orders table. Let's call it O. After we do join, we need to write on what we'll do on, what can connect between orders and customer ID and customers table. The customer ID, because the customer ID in customers table are made an order in the orders table. So let's see it so it will be clear. Select asterisk from orders. If we run it, we see that in orders we have customer ID. We need to remember the customer ID is unique, is one. In orders, the customer is duplicated, many, because one customer can make a lot of orders. So it's one to many. This is why we can connect them. And we connect them based on the customer ID. Let's equal it to the customer ID in orders table. Now we can get another columns from the orders table. What we want from the orders? We want the order ID. So we'll have the order ID, company name. We want the order date. And if we run only this, we see that we get the 830 rows of all orders for the company name, the customers, the dates of the order, and their customer. Now we want only dates that are in 1997. So we are talking about filtering the rows. So filtering the rows by year, we do year. O order date equals to 1997. Now we'll get only orders and the company name of the customers from 1997. The same thing we'll do for the employees. So we have select asterisk from the employee now. Here we want to get the first name and last name. This will be the company name, the name of the supplier. So if we call it E, we have E first name plus quotation marks plus E last name. When we do union, we don't need to write the name because it will give us the name that we have in the column in the first query. We can write the company name, but we have to write company name. We can change the names. We can just call it name and here name. But if I called it company name and I want to union between them after I combine the order ID, I need the name of this column to be also a company name. We need to remember it. The name must be the same. If I don't write nothing, it doesn't have a name, and we will take the name of the first query. We see it. For now, I don't write nothing. After that, I know this is the employees. We need to give it the same name as the first query title. Now we want to join it with the orders table. Let's call it O, because these are the persons that made the order for the customers. So the customer and the employee has the same order ID because one cell to the other. After we combine them, we have to add on. From the E table, we'll combine the employee ID. And from the order table, we also insert the employee ID, because this is the column that are related between these two tables, the employee ID. After we join the orders, we can extract the column of the orders. So we have O orders, order ID, just like this. The next thing we have the company name, and this will be the company name, the name of the customer, the name of the supplier, the employee. Now we can extract also the order date, and we have the employee. Between them, and we need to remember that we want only orders. And again, let's run the orders table, select asterisk from the orders. And if we run it, we see that we have the customer ID. the customer, the employees that sell this customer the product. This is the order ID, and we want the order date to be 1997. So again, here it will be the same. Orders in 1997. Now when we run it, we get all the orders of the employee. This is the employee that were in 1997. Now let's do union between them and run. And see that the company name now is related also to the company name in customers and the company name that is the first name and last name in the employees. You see the employee name, see the value is under the company name because it sees the order ID as the first column, the company name as the second column, and the order ID at the third column, and the title at the fourth column. And we have the order ID of Eastern. This is the customer, and the employees that sell it to him is Nancy on the same order ID. Of course that we can order it by the order ID and the title. Now let's run it, and you see that the order ID is ordered by the same order in ascending order, and we have after that the title customer employee, customer employee, customer employee.